This is score now. The second half of Texas A&M, Texas. Now for Texas A&M, it's a question of holding on because it's a huge game for them. For Texas, almost as big because of the Big 12 championship.
Coach Franchione could not afford another one-point loss. I guarantee you that. Hey, Aggies, run the play action off the option. You've been running the option. Pull up one time and you'll get that free safe Texas coming up and you'll burn him and then he'll stay back and you'll still have success running the option. I think that's the key.
Longhorns on offense, just continue to do what you're doing, but you have to execute in the red zone. You've been there twice. You walked away with 0 points. Just keep doing what you're doing on the offense, but put the ball in the end zone.
You wonder about Colt McCoy's shoulder, if it's still bothering him as well, that little pinched nerve he had there. So the second half is coming up after these messages and a word from our ABC stations. This is ESPN on ABC.
This ESPN Productions available on CHD, presented by Dish Network. Just about set to start the third quarter. Rivalry week continuing, presented by Remington. And at halftime in Austin, it's the Aggies of A&M leading the Longhorns 6-0. Been a long time since Texas has been behind and hasn't scored in the first half at home, I'm sure. They're moving the ball down the field, but in the red zone twice and didn't get anything out of it, Bob.
And A&M is making the best of theirs. They got one touchdown. They only run 2 plays inside Texas territory. But Texas has got to come out and do something, make something happen.
That didn't come off Jaworski Lane, did it?
No,
that's a big leg.
I think he threw a shoe. I didn't get anything to eat last night. You guys ate all the turkey and stuff, so I thought I'd bring something here.
All right, well, we're getting set for the third quarter. It takes a leg to know a turkey, doesn't it? A&M will get the ball first, too, to start the second half. Hunter Lawrence to kick. Kerry Franks and Pierre Brown will be back for Texas A&M. A&M at 149 yards rushing in the first half. And we talked about Texas being number 1 in the country in that capacity, only giving up 42 a game, and that was shattered by A&M in the first half. And as all the kicks have gone in that direction today, out of the back of the end zone, and A&M will work from the 20-yard line. Let's check in with Stacy.
Brad, you just said it. A&M ran the ball very well in the first half. I asked Coach Franchione what was the key to that. He said, that's just what we do. I said, well, what specifically did you do? He said, we disguised and executed very well. He was pleased with the defense, but he said, we got to get more points against this team. Brad?
Well, we know that, and Mac Brown's well aware of that, too. And you always know that somewhere in there, that guy is going to throw a trick play or two at you, especially in this rivalry that dates back to the late 1800s. Mac Brown told us at practice the other day, you know, we know some trick plays are coming because about 50% of the time this year they've worked against us.
Yeah.
So he said, I'd do it too if I was an opposing team.
Well, they've run every time on first down. Maybe they'll run a play action pass one of these times. No?
Not this time. Goodson, he jumps through the hole, and Marcus Griffin made the stop after a pickup of about 3. Our Pacific Life game summary, and statistically, as we told you, 149 yards on one side on the ground, 131 through the air for Texas and Colt McCoy.
About the third down conversions, 5 of 7. And Paul, the average on first down, Texas making a little over 6 yards.
Yeah, you would think that, that they would be in control of this football game, getting 6 yards on first down, but they're not.
There's what they do on first down, which they did a moment ago with Goodson. Now it's Lane back in there. There's the play fake on second down, and the throw's incomplete. Chad Schrader was the intended receiver. And it brings up third down and 6. As Bob said, though, 5 out of 7 in the third down conversions. It really hasn't mattered how far they've been either. They've had a couple of 3rd and 9s that they've converted.
Those 3 guys weren't waving at their girlfriends.
Which one is the guy?
They were signaling the plays in to McGee, and one of them was the real guy, and the other 2 were the dummies. Hey, son, what'd you do today? I was a dummy all day.
Third down and 6. The opening drive of the third quarter for the Aggies. And flags all over the place. Might end up being third down and 11.
False start on the offense.
And it
Number
will be
3, 5-yard penalty. Still third down.
Mike Goodson moved, and so it will be third down and long.
Well, if you get hit, you get whacked in the head, then you look over there and you don't know which one is the real guy or not. You got to take a time out.
By the way, for any of you girls that happen to be the girlfriends of those two, maybe they are waving at you.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, you never know.
That little thing that you saw them do with their hands, I mean, just same play, run the same play.
Whatever 3rd and 6 was, here comes 3rd and 11.
Right.
Play action, McGee fires, and it is incomplete. Would have been a first down to Irvin Taylor, but he couldn't hold it. Nice coverage. Scott Derry got over there, deep drop from the linebacker, and the corner helped as well. And so Texas did exactly what they wanted to do in the opening snaps of the third quarter, and that's force the Aggies to punt.
Both teams had possession, 4 possessions each in the first half. A&M had to punt on their last 3 possessions. They scored on their first one.
Justin Brantley to punt. Aaron Ross should get great field position out of this. Texas is a great kick blocking team too, punt blocking team. Michael Griffin is the master of that, and they're jumping around on that front. They may want to put some pressure on here. Brantley got the kick away, and Ross has to call for a fair catch. And it just thuds down at about the 44-yard line. It's a great field position, only a 26-yard kick. And you think about these two teams and how many times they played. Great rivalry moments. Aggies scored late on a touchdown pass. Randy McCown to Matt Bumgarner and held off a late Texas rally. That's the last time they beat him in '99. The Aggies won it 20-16 over a then number 5 Texas team. And they've only won 8 times in Austin, as Bob said earlier. And in this stadium, the first guy to ever win a football game as an A&M head coach, will tell you who that is after this snap. Kind of an interesting name that you'll know. Colt McCoy loads up, hit from behind, ball's in the air, it's intercepted. Cyril Obazar's got it, and the Aggies have got the ball back, and that's the second time that Colt McCoy's made a mistake today. Chris Harrington got the pressure.
Wow,
Harrington is right here.
I blame this on the quarterback. Look how long he's holding this ball. Harrington goes all the way around and then comes back and knocked the ball out.
It was a deep route. The receiver was running a takeoff down the right side. And Harrington, who is their best rusher, he has 7 sacks coming into the game, makes a huge one here today for the Aggies.
To be honest with you, I don't know if they'll call it an interception or a fumble recovery in midair, but they've got the ball either way. It doesn't matter.
Exactly.
Best starting field position now for the Aggies at their own 45-yard line on the option. McGee to Goodson. He take a couple of shots.
Kid.
You can hear those way up here. We've got headphones on. Only about a 2-yard gain. Goodson had an excellent first half, part of a long touchdown drive, the only score of the day. He did that on 3rd and 9, got 11 yards on that carry, keeping his balance. And then on the option, the only time we've seen points today, he went 41 yards in the blink of an eye. That's where we are, 6-0.
Well, he never got touched. Never got touched. Wasn't even close to touching him.
He's right about on his average. And here comes the big fella now, and Texas is waiting for him. A loss of one. Roy Miller made the stop on Lane, and Roy is not getting up, or slow to get up. 300-pound sophomore out of Killeen, Texas, and he's shaken up on the play.
Brad, he's looking at some of his fellow teammates and said, "What was that I just hit?"
As we wait on Roy Miller, and hopefully he's going to be all right. Here's the Dr. Pepper Bowl tie-ins for the Big 12. Tostitos Fiesta Bowl is the honor for the BCS team, whoever wins the Big 12 championship in Tempe. A Cotton Bowl, of course, in Dallas. It's been around forever, and one of the original major bowls. Everybody likes the Holiday Bowl in San Diego because the weather's always beautiful. The Gator Bowl this year can actually choose a little bit ahead of some of those other bowls because of a stipulation they've got in their contract. So those are the places the teams can go. And we've got a timeout right now. 6-0, Texas A&M in front. Roy Miller went off with some help with an ankle injury. And meanwhile, A&M now's had a chance to huddle up and face a 3rd down and 8.
They've had a lot of time to plan and scheme and think about which play they want to call here. Very successful on 3rd down conversions.
Empty backfield, all the receivers out there. They look one way, come back to a screen, and Texas just blew it up. Brandon Foster makes the hit on Riley. And the Aggies, after getting great field position on that interception, it isn't going to matter.
Watch right here. All the action. That's just good. Foster just does good. He was covering him all along anyway, and then as soon as he saw him go in the little screen move, he was right in his pocket.
I've seen Texas A&M run a lot of fake punts in my day. I don't know that they do one here when they've got to get all the way to the 45 of Texas. They're lined up to kick it away. Brinkley try to aim it away from Aaron Ross and does a nice job this time. Kicked it deep. Ross at the 7. Got a block or 2. Now heading for the far side. Got a rushing block there, but it's going to be all brought back with a penalty. Boy, there was some collisions on that return. There would have been a 24-yard punt return.
There was a huge block, and you saw it too, Brad. You called it the clip. What happened was one of the big linemen would try to get his head in front and never could get it in a position to block in front.
During the return, illegal block below the waist. Number 64 in the return team. Half the distance to the goal. First down.
It was Casey Studdard, the starting guard. We'll get another look at it.
Yeah, he just doesn't have enough. He's not quick enough to get his head in front. The block is right here. You see it? He just catches him in the back, and he never got around to the front. That's a good call by the official.
Tried to get his head in front of the defender.
So they back it up to the 10-yard line. And Texas will be working in a hole again. Longhorns, first time they have not scored in the first half since 1997 when they lost to UCLA. And I did that game. It was 66-3 when it was all over. The next morning in the paper, they called it Route 66. They got smoked on their home field. I don't think they expect that to happen here today, but they do trail 6-0 with 10:37 remaining in the third quarter. Texas has not done much on the ground today. They try it here, and they get a good gain from Selvin Young. Selvin Young got about 9. Those of you that might have just joined us are just waking up from all the turkey yesterday. This was the freshman Mike Goodson on a 41-yard option play. That's the only points of the ball game. It capped a 91-yard, 9-play drive for the Aggies. That's the only point so far. Tough, hard-hitting matchup in this, the 113th edition of A&M in Texas. On the ground again. They're going to try to establish something. They're doing a pretty good job of it right now with Selvin Young. He's playing his final game here at home, and he doesn't want to go out a loser. Texas, their last 4 possessions, 2 punts and 2 Colt McCoy interceptions.
Yeah, this could be very upsetting for a quarterback. The one interception was our last drive of the first half.
Right.
And then when he tried to throw the ball deep down the sideline with the first drive of the second half, he got hit from behind and the ball went up in the air and then picked off.
Jamal Charles now in there at tailback. And it looks like Greg Davis is trying to get a little confidence back in his young quarterback and say, you know what, let's grind some yards out here, and then maybe the play action will be a little more effective.
Well, I think the thought here is, Colt, here, you don't have to win it for us with the pass. Let's get back to the running game and let you just cool off a little bit.
Texas averages about 180 yards a game on the ground, which is 20th in the country. One play over 20 yards today. There's the play action, and now McCoy's in trouble, and down he goes. Chris Harrington, we told you at the beginning of the ball game, he was one of our guys in the Star Watch, and he comes up with the sack. He's the leading player in that category for A&M.
Well, he comes off of that corner awfully fast. Just take a look at the speed. He just gets around. You're trying to block him with a tight end. You cannot do that. Not with that guy.
Nephew of former A&M All-American Dave Elmendorf. He now does the radio for the Aggies, and he was a good one in the pros after he left A&M. And now his nephew's tearing up turf in the Big 12. McCoy again, double pumps and throws and completes it out to the 40-yard line.
No.
Oh, they're going to say incomplete. Quan Cosby is saying, I caught that. And he's telling Coach Brown, Coach, challenge it.
It hit the ground. I think it hits the ground in front of him. Take a look at this ball. Now watch it. Yeah, it bounces off the ground. What do you mean? It was a nice catch if you were a third baseman.
Well, he was an outfielder. I don't know.
I don't think
it's a
that
catch.
hit the ground.
I don't think, for one thing, I don't think Quan would go to Coach Brown and say, Coach, you got to throw the flag on
this. You want to take that back?
Not yet. Let me see it again.
You're just not so certain as you were.
Not anymore. Boy, that is, if that's a catch, that is a great catch because he got his hands right in front.
Get his hands under
it. Man.
Looked to me like he got his hands under it.
Remember, this is the elder statesman on Texas' team, and we talked about Quan Cosby. Mac Brown said he's the leader, one of our leaders, because of his age and his experience. And I don't think he would go to Coach Brown and say, Coach, challenge this, unless he was sure he made the catch.
Well, Coach doesn't have to challenge it. Because
the play is being reviewed.
Yeah. The coach doesn't have to challenge it in college football because everyone gets reviewed. Take a look.
But he can.
Yes, he can.
I think both hands are on the ground and the ball is on the hands.
Looks like a catch.
So we've had one overturned in the first half. We'll see if we end up 2 for 2 today. It's Tom Walker again. We'll talk with Dave Ames up here, upstairs.
It's a nice opportunity for Greg Davis and the Texas offense to come to the sideline, calm down after you get this drive going, get some more plays, talk about things, and this is good.
Quan Cosby's been a big part of the Texas offense today. As Bob said, he caught a lot of balls in practice on Wednesday, and he's catching a lot of balls in the game today. In the first half, he had 5, and now maybe the biggest one of the day to keep this Texas drive alive. If after review they determine it was a catch, it would probably be his biggest one so far.
And the reason he's catching a lot of balls is because when he gets into an open area, he'll hang, or he knows when he's open. He doesn't run through an area that's open. A lot of receivers will just keep running, but he knows the timing of the routes.
We have one more angle of that last play that we have not seen, and this is it.
See, the only question is on this one here. His hands are underneath, but the ball, does the ball hit the ground out after he gets his hands underneath? Mm-hmm. And the official that made the call was right there, could see it all.
Yeah.
Quan Cosby, if that's a catch, will be his 6th of the day, and maybe he's in line for our Chevrolet Player of the Game. We'll have to wait and see. At the conclusion of our game, we'll select a Chevrolet Player of the Game from each team. And to honor their determination, Chevrolet will make a $1,000 contribution to each university's general scholarship fund.
And that's we were talking about.
After review, the ruling on the field stands as called. Incomplete pass. This is not a coach's challenge. It's a booth review.
This ball, his hands were underneath it, but it looked like the ball came out beyond his left arm and hit the ground and when he rolled over.
I agree with that.
But, we're talking about why he's open so much. And we talked about Lima Swede, number 4, is their leading receiver. He's double covered all over the field. And Cosby isn't.
Schrader now back to await Greg Johnson's punt. On a 4th and 15. Whoa, they got close to Johnson. He goes down, but I don't think the A&M player touched him. I think he just fell down. Schrader, meanwhile, got past the first man, and then he got head-on at about the 34. Matt Melton made the stop on the special teams. So the Aggies with the lead, and the Longhorns doing a 6-0.
ESPN's College Football on ABC, presented by Best Buy. Wrap up the wow this holiday season only at Best Buy. Chevrolet, America's brand. Chevy, an American revolution. Verizon Wireless. And Pacific Life. For insurance, annuities, and investments, choose Pacific Life, the power to help you succeed.
Good look at the Longhorn Trophy Room. Houses the championships from 63, 69, 70, and of course, last year the BCS championship hardware there. The crystal that they got after beating USC 41-38 in the heroics of Vince Young.
That's a beautiful trophy now. That is just gorgeous.
Talk about a great game, huh?
That was one of the best of all time.
All-timers.
Both Goodson and Lane flanking McGee in this backfield for the Aggies. And it's the pitch to Goodson on the corner. And Goodson cartwheels and the ball came out. Texas has got it. The officials have not made a determination or said whether he was down or not. It's Aaron Ross that's got the ball, plus a penalty marker on the play as well. We'll wait for both, whether or not there was a change of possession and what the penalty is.
Holding on the offense, 10-yard penalty, repeat first down.
So the ball wasn't loose, but the penalty will go against the Aggies.
Yeah, he had possession when he hit the ground. It is not a fumble.
As his forearm hit, but they'll back it up now. You saw Mac Brown cheering on his troops, trying to get them fired up defensively. He's trying to get everybody fired up. I think the whole sideline, and Stacy mentioned this earlier, this place is dead compared to the way it normally is. It's 1st and 12 after the spot foul on the holding. McGee, play fake, and the throw, and it's complete to Schrader, and they got a first down. Out to the 47-yard line. Stephen McGee talking about what he likes about this Aggie offense.
The fact that we've faced adversity and stood strong together and faced it head on has been huge for us, and the fact that we haven't quit and we continue to fight, and that's been what's made up this team the whole year long.
He started fighting in this battle last year, made his first start in the Texas game last year, threw for 83 yards, but he rushed for 108 and 2 touchdowns. And here he is on the option, pitching off to Goodson on the corner again. This time Goodson swarmed under at about the line of scrimmage. Stacy's got more about Stephen McGee. Stacy?
Well, guys, Stephen really knows his offense. Let me just tell you a quick story here. In the 6th grade, he sat down by himself and turned into an offensive coordinator. He put together a 30 to 40-page booklet of offensive schemes and formations. Then he took it to his father, who's a coach, and he said, "Dad, you'll be hard-pressed to find a defensive coordinator anywhere that can defend my offense."
That's gutsy. His dad, Rodney, was his high school basketball coach and also was an assistant on the football staff. So both these quarterbacks come from families where their dads were coaches. End around. Fumble! Texas has got it.
Not yet. Now they do.
Frank Ocam smothers the fumble on the end around.
Boy, you have a lot of trick plays, my friend. And Mac Brown said we're going to see some trick plays, but when when you do something like this reverse pass, that's Frank's.
This is what he sees. These two guys right here, he sees those guys and takes his eye off the ball. He's looking where he wants to be running, and he sees trouble in the size of 2 big defensive linemen.
It sets up the Texas offense and Colt McCoy, the 37-yard line. Let's see if they try to score quickly. They'll throw it out complete. It's a first down to Lima Swede. And Swede took 4 Aggies to get him down. That's his first catch of the day. Remember, the one in the end zone was taken back when he was called for offensive pass interference.
And that's the first time that Lima Swede came off the line of scrimmage that actually single covered.
Lima Swede wearing that number 4 that used to be worn by Roy Williams. How about Roy's first quarter yesterday for the Lions on Thanksgiving Day?
Hello there.
First down for the Longhorns.
He's wearing the same number, isn't he?
Yep, that's it.
11.
And he's built just about like him. Salvin Young down to the 22-yard line. Lima Swede, we talked about in the first half, they didn't throw to him very often. He was getting a lot of double coverage. And then when they did go to him in the corner of the end zone, he was called for pass interference. So that was his first official catch a couple of plays ago. There's his numbers on the year. Second down and 8 as we approach 4.5 minutes remaining in the third quarter, and the Longhorns still have not scored. Play action. McCoy. Incomplete at the goal line.
And a flag.
And a flag. Danny Gore was the defender against Jordan Shipley.
This officiating crew has had a tough game to officiate. Been a lot of close calls, some calls that went to the replay booth. This has been a tough game. A lot of close calls.
Pass interference on the defense. 15-yard penalty. Automatic. First down.
Shipley, number 8, is going to run a slant. Little fake to the outside and then inside.
Oh, yeah. Gore's on his back. And that is an excellent call. I mean, he's pushing from the backside. There's just no question about it. He got there too early.
That'll put it down at about the 11-yard line.
I hate to agree with him again, Ness, but
you have to sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes you got to.
Oh, you keep it up. I'm going to go bring Bevo up here. He's a friend of mine now.
I thought you were going to go down and see Bevo at halftime.
I think he's sleeping.
Now they move it again. And they'll spot it down closer to the 6. There's Bevo. He's hunting McGuire. Just not moving that quickly.
He's got some big old eyeballs on that thing, I'll tell you that. Woo.
First and goal for the Longhorns at the Aggie 6. Charles, touchdown, Texas. Finally something for the home crowd to cheer about. Jamal Charles' 7th rushing touchdown of the year. And now they're a very important extra point away from having the lead for the first time today. Remember, A&M missed their extra point after their touchdown. This is Ryan Bailey for the Longhorns point after. Shipley to put it down for him. Bailey's got it up right down the middle. So Texas in the third quarter finally scores a touchdown with 4:20 remaining.
Over the left side, Studdard is number 64. You can see the hole forming right here. Good blocking up front. Blaylock, number 63, gets his block. And on the 7th drive of the game, Texas finally gets on the board.
And they were saying to Jamal Charles, show me the end zone. And he capped this 37-yard scoring drive in just 3 plays with his 7th rushing touchdown of the year. And remember, it followed the Frank Ocamp fumble recovery. That's why they only had to go 37 yards. So Texas leads for the first time today. And again, the kick is deep and out of the back of the end zone. So the Aggies will work from their 20-yard line. Time permitting. Stay tuned for the Thrifty Car Rental postgame report featuring scores and highlights with John and Craig and Mark in New York. Here it's 7-6, low-scoring affair. Both teams score over 30 points a game on average. And Texas, in fact, 40 a game is 3rd in the country, but not today. Mike Goodson, here's his rushing chart today, part of his 79 yards. Of course, he got 41 of it right up that right sideline. He's in the dual backfield again with Lane. You can pick your poison, power or speed.
The little guy has the speed.
Exactly. Whoops. Little misdirection there on who was going where. McGee keeps it instead. And he goes out to the 24, the 25-yard line.
Well, this is a heads-up play by the quarterback because this thing was screwed up right from the beginning, and he just tucked the ball away and picked up 5 yards. I mean, you give him the credit.
Both McGee and Colt McCoy from little towns here in Texas. One from Buffalo Gap and one from Burnett, Texas. They love their high school football in this state, and so do these two coaches who recruit this state so heavily. And almost all the players on both these teams have met before in high school all-star games. McGee in trouble, now scrambling out of it, and he's got a first down. Nice run by Stephen McGee, first down out to the 33-yard line. As I said, the sophomore out of Burnett, Texas, and you say, where's Buffalo Gap, where's Burnett? There they are. There's Buffalo Gap, all of about maybe 700. Burnett's got about 4,500 people. And both those quarterbacks, one found their way to College Station, which is right over about in the I in Austin, there on the Word. And we're in Austin right now, and this is a dream game for these kids to play in this matchup. Goodson in the I backfield again. And he's dropped for a loss. Rashad Bobineau, big play by the middle linebacker.
You know, they've run that play. This is a delayed draw that they run to Goodson. They've run it 3 times in this ball game, and all 3 times they've lost yardage on it. Here's a play you throw out. Yeah, I don't want that. Give him a toss. Get him around the corner.
Can't play it much better than that.
That's a good middle linebacker. Reading the offensive lineman, seeing that it's a block, and seeing a gap, and knowing that you have the speed to get through the gap and not get cut off, and you can get the runner down by going through that.
Second down at 13 now. We're under 2 minutes the third quarter. The throw by McGee is complete. Irvin Taylor took a big shot, held onto it, picked up about 4.
This Texas team had looked a little flat, but it was the defense that shook the ball loose on that reverse. They are 4th in the nation in takeaways. That was their 30th takeaway of the year that got the offense on the short field and got them in the end zone.
It turned into points, exactly. So now here's the third down and long, 3rd and 9, and you can hear the crowd coming to life for the defense again. Flags are down. Alexander might have come out of his stance.
24. Yep. 5-yard penalty. Still third down.
The fullback moved. So now it's 3rd and 14. Forget rivalry week continues. Boise State trying to stay undefeated. That'll be on ESPN2 at 4:15 Eastern Time tomorrow. And then Wake Forest and Maryland battling for a trip to Jacksonville in the ACC Championship game. That's on ESPN at 7:45 Eastern. All those games available in high definition.
What week is it?
Rivalry week. You wanted me to say it again, didn't you? 3rd down and 14. McGee's going to pull it down. And he will not get anywhere near the first down marker. Texas defense holds again. And the Aggies will bring out the punting team.
Do you know that this is the 3rd straight play that Bobineau has made? Number 44. Here he goes. Look at this. And they're going to run with the ball. Watch who's there. Look at number 44. Come in. Bam. He's got him right at the legs. He made the play before, the 2 plays before that.
Started with the coverage downfield, then with the defensive lineman getting him out of the pocket, and then the linebackers getting him down.
Rashad, a freshman All-American last year, and really coming to life here in the third quarter. That is winding down, and we probably won't have a play from the Aggies before we end the third.
Now they want that wind at their back.
You've seen how the kicks have gone from right to left as you view your TV screen, and that's what they're going to look for as far as their punting team. Who's going to belong to the fourth quarter? Will it be the Aggies, or will it be the Longhorns at home? A quarter to go. These longtime rivals have 15 minutes left.